anyone who oh, well, okay, got it. Is there anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur, or do you know what is being an entrepreneur is? And maybe if somebody wants to just speak and introduce themselves, they tell their age, location, and so on, it will be fantastic. So does anyone wants to introduce themselves? Does anyone want to be an entrepreneur? Or can somebody define what is an entrepreneur?
Salem, I can see Ahmed Farid raising his hand.
Go ahead, Ahmed. You don't need to raise hands. You can speak directly. Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, I'm Ahmed Farid. I'm 19 years old. I'm a freshman student at the American University in Cairo.
Okay.
My intended major would be business entrepreneurship. I want to be entrepreneur. I know who is an entrepreneur, who is like a businessman who or her, who or she, he or she would like to start his or her business. It's like a startup. It's like pitching an idea from nothing. Would like to establish a business to just reach a wealth or to achieve a specific goal that he or she wants to accomplish.
Perfect. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you very much for your definition. And you're right about what is an entrepreneur. But I also heard that you use the word startup. So I'd like to ask you guys, what's the difference? Between and there is Fatima also who's raising hands, but I'll give the speak to Fatima now. But what is the difference between a startup and being an entrepreneur? Does all of the entrepreneurs are startups? Have startup is being an entrepreneur, meaning starting a startup, or you can be an entrepreneur and not starting a startup?
I kind of believe being an entrepreneur is by starting up with a new idea, which is kind of out of the box. Like no one has expected this from you. This is my opinion. So I kind of believe that entrepreneurs are startup, but not that kind of startup. Like a startup, like a normal one, not a normal one. Sorry.
If I want to start, let's say, a restaurant business, I want to start selling shawarma in New York. Maishi? Am I an entrepreneur or I'm not an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur, I believe.
So it's not it's okay. So you believe it is an entrepreneur? Absolutely right. So if I want, for example, to create a new website, am I an entrepreneur or not an entrepreneur?
Depends on how the website will work or how it will affect the people.
Bravo, perfect. So do you know, yeah, Rawan, the different type of entrepreneur? Do you know the difference between an entrepreneur and a social entrepreneur?
Not specifically, but I know how entrepreneurs' mind work. I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs talk about how their mindset were, like how they took the risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to share a bit what you've learned about how entrepreneurs like to take the risk?
Yeah, one of my favorite entrepreneurs is Sarah. She is the founder of a gaming brand. It's called Mean L, I believe.
Okay.
It's like a cards game, and she started from scratch. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was like in 2020, and no one believed in her idea of starting a gaming brand. Like it's so silly to start a card game, But she insisted on her mind, and now she is really successful. She's studying in New York. She is hitting it, So yeah, I believe entrepreneurs' mindset is to never be disappointment, because you can receive criticism and people who just let you down and make you feel that you are not gonna make it. You are gonna receive this a lot, So their mindset are always insisting on their dreams or trying to be creative, trying to be out of the box,
Bravo, perfect. That's very nice of you, Rawan. Thank you very much. I think it's very, very beautiful what Rawan just said about the importance of having a mindset where you believe on yourself. And it's true that generally, when you want to start something new, when you're an entrepreneur and when you're young, very often your family, your friends, or your parents may be a little bit afraid because they will think maybe it's better for you to go and look for a real job. You know what I mean? Because of course, being an entrepreneur has a lot of unexpected issues and outcomes. So what Rawan is saying about the idea of having a very strong mindset, about believing themselves and so on is extremely, extremely important. Thank you a lot. Does anyone wants to give an example of an entrepreneur that they like and why they like them? Or does anyone wants to be an entrepreneur? Or does anyone know what is a social entrepreneur? No one?
I can say what a social entrepreneur is. I
Fantastic.
guess traditional entrepreneurs, I guess they aim to create a service or a product for which a consumer will pay for. But I guess social entrepreneurs also try to create a process or a service or a product from which the society will benefit, not only a single consumer.
Perfect. She's completely right, Menatola. So the difference between an entrepreneur and a social entrepreneur is simply that the social entrepreneur wants to have an impact on society. And having an impact on society is maybe more important than creating a profit. So a social entrepreneur can be for profit or not for profit, but is for profit or not from profit. I just had a question. Can I ask this meeting for kids or what? Fatima, please go ahead, Fatima. Fatima Ahmed, please go ahead.
Yes, it's something I want to share with you actually. Like a couple of months or just weeks ago, I just discovered that somehow I feel like I have this entrepreneur roots or something because I feel he is someone that, like, I myself refuse to be a normal employer or just used to be an employer for just a couple of days, couple of months, just to finance or to have the enough finance to start up my own project. Somehow I feel like an entrepreneur is someone who is able to stay with people and understand them and have this mindset of being able of understanding their problem and he is able to transform or make this problem into a new idea that can get money or can get what is useful return for him. So I feel like somehow it's something I love. I love to be between people, having a very good relationship with people. Like, you know, these people when you have a civil work or something to being volunteer with, and you are the PR committee, the head of the PR committee, public relation or something like that. So yeah, I feel like I have these things. So I start to my problem is what's actually entrepreneur is amazing or have the talent of it. It's managing the risk or being able to just go on. He just go on, and however what the risk that comes to you, I can handle it, or I can just, you know, this kind of thing. So I have this problem that I have a good relation somehow. I love people and I can deal with them. I can understand, have a creative somehow mind or innovation to get new ideas. But I have this problem of taking risk, or, you know, family, friends are not very supportive. Something like that. It's just something I want to share with you as you are talking.
Bravo, Fatima. That's fantastic. And you know what? I think that you really, really have a very strong spirit. And even if your family and friends are not supportive, I feel that you're really passionate when you speak. And I will really recommend to go towards the path.
Thank you.
Especially when you're young, right? You know, it's much more difficult. You were speaking about taking risks. But at your age, it's much easier to take risks than when you're 40 years old, married, and have children, you know? Like once you just graduated or when you're in the university, it's a very good time also to take some risk because you are more independent. You're just depending on yourself. But it's true that very often the parents or the family would rather see you working in a regular job because there is less risk, and so they are more happy about it than seeing you working as an entrepreneur. I'll tell a bit about me as well, and I think I'm going to share a bit of my stories. But I really want you to go on and to just speak whenever you want to, because we should take the benefits that we're not so many people, just to have the pleasure of discussing between ourselves. Okay, I'll ask the last questions. I'll ask last question because the topic is also about climate. Who knows what happened with the garbage, right? You put your garbage in the manoir. Where does your garbage go? How is the garbage being processed? Does any know what happened with the garbage? Who knows? Who knows what's happened with the garbage?
As I read, they were burned.
Burned. So Rawan thinks that the garbage is burned. So who burns the garbage?
Or being thrown in the ocean. I don't know. Like I have read different articles about these topics.
Okay, so Rawan thinks that it's either burned or thrown in the ocean. Mintani, who has an idea? Who has an idea of what happens with your garbage?
Maybe they are recycled and reused in some useful things.
So Ahmed thinks they are not burned or thrown into the ocean, they are recycled. Who could recycle them? Who is recycling them?
Maybe it differs from type or...
It differs, Fatima, from what to what?
To another, per type to another, like nuclear rubbish or something. That
nuclear rubbish? Well, no, I'm speaking about your own home rubbish, not the nuclear one. Nuclear is something else, right? I'm speaking about the garbage at home.
Oh, my own. Okay.
So now I just finished my Diet Coke. I'm going to throw it away. What happens? Ahmed thinks that it's going to be recycled. Rawan thinks that maybe it's going to be thrown into the ocean, but she's not sure about it.
Sold.
Huh? It's going to be sold?
Yeah.
Who said it's going to be sold?
Qadil.
Ahmed?
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be sold. Who's going to sell it? Who is responsible? Who is coming to from door to door to pick up the garbage?
Maybe some manufacturers tend to buy them to use them in other unvalued
but who picks it up? Who picks up your garbage?
Sorry?
Who picks up the garbage?
Maybe some firms.
Some firms? Are you sure? Who comes and ring on your door every day?
I don't know exactly, but maybe the government itself.
Fatima is saying that the garbage is being buried by the government. Okay, so this is very interesting. So now the first thing I'm going to tell you, who knows about the Zabalin, right? Doesn't the Zabalin comes every month, knock on your door, ask for 20 guinea or 50 guinea عشان الزبالة?
Garbage collectors.
The garbage collectors, yeah.
Exactly.
Who heard about the Zabalin before? Who maybe somebody visited the Zabalin community? Did anyone went to Manshat Nasser? Did anyone go and visit the Zabalin?
Go and what?
To Manshat Nasser to go and visit the Zabalin community? No, huh? No one. Oh, somebody's ringing. Maybe it's the Zabal. So actually, there is a Zabal are eco-entrepreneurs. It's very, very interesting. No, otherwise they are not rich. It depends. So I'm going to explain how the Zabal system is working. So they come and they pick up the garbage that they can find in your house. They're going to sort all of the different type of garbage they're going to find. They're going to put the aluminum together. They're going to put the plastic bottle together. They're going to put the, just 1 second, I'm sorry about that. Because actually it's the Zabal who just rang on my door, that's why. So he's gonna sort every kind of different recyclables, because what you see as garbage can be seen by others as recyclables. The difference between a garbage and a recyclables means that it can be recycled. So this kind of aluminum, for example, they're gonna take all of the kinds of aluminiums, they're gonna put it together, they're gonna melt it, and then afterwards they're gonna sell per kilo to anybody who is interested in buying aluminiums. The same goes with plastic. They're going to take all of the plastic, they're going to put it together, they're going to clean it, they're going to sort it in little pieces, and they're going to sell it to manufacturers of people who want some plastic. So what is very, very interesting about the Zabalin model is that the Zabalin is making money out of your garbage, meaning that they are kind of eco-entrepreneurs. They take your garbage, they're going to make money out of it, and then they're going to sell it. And this is something that is very interesting because there are hundreds of thousands of Zabalins throughout Cairo and throughout Egypt that know how to create an economic value through the work, through the recyclables that they can find in your garbage. And I myself, I consider myself a bit of a garbage collector. So my name is Salem. I was born and raised in Paris. This is why I have such a strong French accent. I studied in Canada, Montreal, at McGill University. Then I came to Cairo, and I've done first an internship in the Association for the Protection of the Environment, which is an NGO among the garbage collectors of Cairo. Then I pursued a master's degree in Cairo University in business law. Then I started a company which created social media campaign, which is named ClickFunding, but who also started an initiative named Very Nile to clean the Nile. So I consider myself as a zabbal, as a cleaner, because I cleaned the Nile for many, many, many years. So to give you an example and a perspective, in 2018, when we started cleaning the Nile, we were the first person that cleaned the Nile. No one before us cleaned the Nile, and since then, no one is still cleaning the Nile. What we created is a model where we're going to pay the fisherman to pick up the garbage from the Nile, and then we're going to sell it back as potential recyclables. So as you can see, all of the waste has some value, financial value, and it's very interesting to think about it. Anyone wants to share a thought about garbage, about value, about climate? And then afterwards, I'm going to speak a bit more about my vision about being a climate entrepreneur and what I want to do. But who thinks that I'm telling great things? Who thinks that the garbage collectors are eco-entrepreneurs? Who think I'm completely wrong?
I think so. I believe so, in fact.
So Ahmed Farid believes me. He thinks that I'm not a liar, that garbage collectors are eco-entrepreneurs. Who else has a thought about it? Who else wants to speak about the garbage, think about the garbage? Who wants to go and visit the garbage collector community?
You know, one of my thoughts that I want to start later in the future is to create kind of awareness campaign to families to how to categorize their garbage to be easily sold and they make money from them rather than just throwing them or letting the garbage collector take them and make use of them.
This is really amazing. Bravo, Alec. Bravo, bravo, Alec. This is really cool. I think it's very much needed. It's very important to sort the garbage for multiple reasons. One of the reasons is once the garbage are sorted, it has bigger economic value. And what you have to know is that the garbage collectors, the Zabalin, they sort it by hand, meaning that if you put in the same garbage your Coca-Cola, your plastic bottle, but also the rest of the molokhia that you ate yesterday night, or you ate kusa bil laban mahshi, you know what I mean? Fazil Zabal, he will put his hands and he will go and sort the different recyclables. So just if Ahmed is doing this campaign and ask for families to sort their garbage in their household, it will be fantastic for the garbage collector because they will not have to do themselves this work manually. Mahmoud, go ahead. Mahmoud Mohammed, you want to speak? No, I don't know why your name appears. Okay. Who else has any thoughts to share about cleaning, about the garbage collector? And my other question.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Maha. Go ahead, Maha.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear
Hello.
you. Thank you. Yes, hello. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
I wish for you all having a blessed Friday.
Thank you.
Okay. The conversation is very inspiring. I didn't think we have this much of keen or are you hearing me well? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Maha. Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you. Go ahead. Tell us what you think about
Yes.
garbage. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to talk about garbage because I am also from the Baleen community. I work for
Fantastic.
a waste
Bravo.
management and recycling company. I work in business development.
Wow.
For 4 years now. I am 27 years old and I'm graduated from Faculty of Electronic Engineering. So I was totally far from this sector, but when I got in, I got very attached, and I think I'm gonna do things very great in this sector. We have a lot. You were talking about the value from garbage.
Yes, absolutely. I'm very happy that you enjoy this sector, Maha.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I'm very happy that you're happy in this sector, the recycling sector.
Yes, it has a very potential, and I'm very happy that there is little entrepreneurs or little. I think everyone in this conversation is less than 20 years old, and that's very great. We think that recycling and waste management industry doesn't have this engagement in the young generations, but this is very inspiring to see this spirit with them.
Fantastic.
So I want to just tell them that there is a value from this industry, recycling especially. We recycle plastics, especially lightweight plastics, which is coming from garbage bags. Garbage bags itself, which is very hard to recycle, and not everyone works in this field. We choose the very dirty plastics in the recyclables to work in, and we export our product to the European Union and other countries. I can if we have a link or something, I can send you the company file. Our company is called Green Minds.
Okay.
We started in waste management in 2020, and our first unit, waste management unit, was in Cairo Festival City Mall. We take all the waste generated from the mall. We do sorting inside the mall itself. Sorting after we get the garbage from the bins. And we are now working on a awareness campaign for separating from the source inside the mall itself. So yes, and we also prepared the mall to get ISO certified, and he got the certification of ISO 14001 in waste management.
Okay, great. So as you can all see, thank you very much, Maha, for your intervention. It's very interesting. Now Maha is speaking about the company where she works at, and they are doing sorting inside of a mall. And of course, they do the recycling, and they want to sort and they want to recycle all of the product. So the waste management is quite a big industry. And I'm gonna ask you, and then slowly we'll go towards climate change, and we'll ask you, do you know what's climate change and what's the solution and innovation towards climate change? But just to continue on the waste, have you guys never traveled inside of Egypt or inside of your neighborhood and feel that the streets are dirty, or feel that something should be done on the Nile, because a lot of people throw their garbage in the Nile, and at the same time, some people are just washing their horse in the Nile or washing themselves in the Nile. So what do you think? How important it is for you to think that we should come up with solutions in order to clean the country?
It was kind of depressing to see all these campaigns try to enrich like public information about the importance of cleaning the streets and the Nile and the water in general.
Why
And
is
yet
it depressing to you?
what? I'm sorry.
Why do you feel it's depressing? Because you use it's depressing.
Because all this work is done for us to save it, and there are people who still choose to throw garbage at the streets or at the Nile, you know.
Yeah.
So when I was first thinking about this, I thought that we need to come up with things like out of the box, you know, like not an ordinary campaign, because it's along for centuries and people never change. But I don't specifically know how to start in this, you know, kind of thing. It's kind of a huge work to change the mindset of over a million of peoples. Um, but for my point of perspective, I believe that starting from like your family, like yourself, starting cleaning in the streets and started avoiding this kind of mess in the streets is kind of will help people to stop like I don't know how to say, stop doing this, but this kind of work in the night.
Actually, Rawan, you just gave me an idea, and I think this could be very, very interesting. I don't know at which session you are in this program and so on. But what about we decide, because we're going to speak about entrepreneurship and we are speaking about entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is about doing some stuff, right? What about we start thinking about what we could all do together right now in order to create something. It could be an awareness campaign. It could be a cleanup. It could be maybe helping Maha in the malls to sort stuff. It could be a visit to the Zabalin. And I want to use your minds at any time. If any of you have an idea of a joint action that we could do together for the environment, because as Rawan said, it's depressing when we see people throwing the garbage in the streets. So if we can find any of you who have an idea about it, let's go for it, really, you know?
Yes.
So I will let you think. Now you have to think about it. Do you have any idea, Rawan? You were speaking about an awareness campaign, maybe an awareness campaign?
For my campaign, like I was thinking, I'm kind of a bookworm. I really enjoy books and I love books, but I see a lot of paper in the streets, and paper are not the, you know, very useful to the environment in general. And people were like can't have a good use of books. So I was thinking about like a campaign of starting of recycling school books, because we all have school books every year. So we can start by them so that every little kid would know how to use their book. You know what I mean? It started like from schools.
This is really awesome, Rawan. This is great. Bravo. Really, this is really, really cool. Does anyone in the group wants to support Rawan in this campaign? I think it's a very cool campaign. And there is so many kids and books in Egypt. Can you imagine how many books there are? Can you imagine the impact that you can all have? It's incredible, right? So I really encourage you, Rawan, to go into this path. And if anyone wants to support Rawan, please go ahead and speak. Huh?
Yes, please.
Please. So anyway, you can speak at any time. A small question, and Rawan, please take my contact info, and I really want to support you on that. Radwa just said, I think we got to motivate people to do such a thing. Yes, we always need to motivate people. Being an entrepreneur, you spend your time motivating people, you know what I mean? And you will find out that a lot of people are unmotivated, but you have to have this extra energy to motivate the people. Marihan thinks that it's a very good idea, Rawan. I think it's great. I think we all have the capacity. We are maybe 20 today on the Zoom. If we all contribute in a way, if we all do something together, I'm sure we can start kind of entrepreneurship action. Now I want to be a bit Maha Abdallah. She thinks it's a great idea. And Marihan would like to support, but she doesn't know how. Let's go one step further, because maybe other people will have other ideas as well. I want to Melatula wants to give her books. Anyway, I will not stop chatting. I will not continue. Please do continue chatting. Who knows what's climate change? Because I want to share with you also my idea, and for me it's great to share with you also my idea. But to speak about climate entrepreneurship and climate change, I think it's important. I guess a lot of you have heard about it. Who knows what's climate change and how can you define climate change? I mean, I'm sure you all know what is climate change, meaning that the climate is changing, but who knows how is the climate changing? Who has any idea? Who ever heard about the greenhouse effect? Who knows?
Actually,
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I'm not like specialized or I know too much about this topic, but as someone who is like I just noticed that there is a difference in the month or the days that have to be in summer, and we start to feel like summer is comes late, or winter is take too much time. In these months, it should be very hot or warm, and we start to feel it's not. For somehow, there was like a very big event that happened in Egypt a few months later. I'm not sure, but there was like a too much posts that was on Facebook like talking about there was the what is it the ice in and we start to have a very a big wide ocean or something like that. We start some cities or something like that are
Fatima, I think
going to disappear, and as like in winter and summer. What?
No, yeah, because your connection is unstable. Thank you very much, Fatima. And do you know what the greenhouse effect? Marihan, go ahead. Yes, you know. What is green? Rada speaking on the chest about greenhouse gases. What is it? Who knows? Why is climate change? Why is CO2 creating climate change? Why? I'm going to
greenhouse effect.
Yeah, go ahead, Marihan.
Greenhouse effect. Gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and all of that is trapped in the atmosphere by the heat of the sun. So it's getting more. Should be the global emissions rate is getting higher because of what we are doing. This was causing a greenhouse effect, and it's called greenhouse effect because they did an experiment with a glass house, and similar to what is happening today. So when the gas is rising and it's trapped by the heat, it's causing problem for the whole world, and the carbon dioxide is getting higher, the emission rate is getting higher, which causing like melting in the ice and all of that.
Bravo, very good, Marihan. I just repeat what you just said. So when you have some carbon dioxide, or when you have some CH2, CH4, even N2O, so it's greenhouse gas emissions, which is not only CO2, but the main is CO2. So it creates like a barrier in the atmosphere. So when the sun is hitting the planet, the heat is staying within this barrier of CO2. Okay, so this is why it's named the greenhouse effect, because it's like a greenhouse. If you are in a greenhouse, if you are in a house, for example, full of windows, if the sun hits the windows, we all know that the room is going to get more warm. So this is why we call it the greenhouse. So funny fact, is it true? And I'm sorry if I'm going to use a bad word, but it's not a bad word, but it's true. Is it true that the cows that are farting are contributing to climate change? Who knows about the cow? Who heard anything about the cows? Why does cow contribute to climate change? Zaiba, why cows are contributing to climate change?
I don't know specifically about cows, but like gases in general are causing the climate change.
Bravo, Rada just answered because because the cows are releasing methane. So it's very interesting. Thanks, Rada. Yeah, and thanks, Radwa. This is why you're completely right. I see that I have an audience that knows a lot about climate change. And this why I'm speaking about this is because I want to speak also about how we do agriculture and how we contribute to climate change, because it's not the fault of the cow. It's how we gather all of the cows in bad conditions and we overfeed them so that we can have more meat, so that we can go and do some more burgers or McDonald's or things like that. So it's not the cow that is responsible. It is how humans are raising cows that is responsible to climate change. So if you took all of the cows in the world and you made of them a country of cows, it will be the third biggest contributor of gas, methane gas, because and create climate change. Like it will be extremely, extremely responsible about climate change. So agriculture has ways and has a lot of impact regarding the CO2 and the climate change. And my idea, and I don't know if I will succeed, but I'm fighting very hard for it, is to create a new type of agriculture, or to let the Egyptian Fallahin do agriculture in a different way, which is named the regenerative agriculture, which is a very different new way of doing some agriculture, in order to attract the carbon dioxide that is in the universe and stock it in the soil. So nowadays, we know that if you want to stop climate change, we have to go two ways, okay? The first way is we need to decrease our own consumption of carbons. This means less cars, less planes, factories polluting less the atmosphere. This means a lot of different actions that we need to do. But even if we decrease our consumption of CO2, and it won't be enough. So what we need to is to try to capture the carbon from the atmosphere. It's a bit like the metaphor of a bath, right? When you go and take your bath, you're going to open the water is flowing. If the water overflow on the floor, you have first to stop the tap water from running, but you also have to clean the soil. So I think that climate change is something.
Can I add something to what you
Yes,
just
please.
said?
Go ahead, Maha.
Okay, carbon footprint is generated from everything. Every food, everyone is making a carbon dioxide emission. As you said, agriculture or agriculture behavior is generating our consumption from carbon dioxide. Also, industrial facilities make more carbon dioxide. Something else that we have to consider is that the European community is making something called Green Deal. This Green Deal will affect our economy in the future, because European countries will put extra taxes on goods imported from the nations that doesn't take the carbon footprint into consideration, because they already putting restrictions on their farms, on the industrial facilities, to decrease the carbon footprint they emit, to achieve zero carbon emission, or to decrease the carbon emission in general. So if we are thinking in an economic way, decreasing the carbon footprint from all our activities will affect the economy too, not only the environment.
It's reducing our carbon footprint. Who knows what's a carbon footprint, Hassan? Because a carbon footprint, as Maha said, is how much carbon we consume. And Maha is completely right. Reducing the carbon footprint will change the economy as we are living right now. For example, more and more people are taking planes. Instead of taking planes, maybe they could take a train, and so on. it will impact the economy, and there is more and more funds and more money and more job being created in the field of environment. And
yes, are not something that is luxurious. Right now it is very important to keep going in the world.
yes, absolutely. It's not a luxury. We are not speaking about reducing carbon emissions or fighting against climate change as a luxury. We are speaking about it's a question of life or death. Okay, because if we continue polluting, the climate change is a reality. The sea level water is going to rise. The delta is going to be underwater, or at least 1/3 of the delta may go underwater. Alexandria may be affected. So what we are speaking and doing right now is what's going to affect your future. And your future is not like tomorrow or after tomorrow. I don't want to put any eco-anxiety on you, but it's a reality. You know what I mean? Your future can be in 10 years or 20 years. So what is incredible right now, and this is why I was very happy to talk to you about it, and is that today you have the opportunity to become a climate entrepreneur. You know, today you have the capacity to say there is the biggest challenge on Earth right now is climate change. Everybody knows it's the biggest challenge. COP27, which is a big reunion of chief of state and so on, will take place in Sharm el-Sheikh in November. Everybody in the world is trying to think how to fight against climate change. Your generation has the capacity to create, to innovate, to find some new solutions, and to work towards the environment. And I think if you're an entrepreneur or not an entrepreneur, doesn't matter. But I think that what matters is really to consider working in the field of climate as a very important and viable career option. And when I first said that I wanted to speak about climate entrepreneur, is that I believe that at our own level, we can all become climate entrepreneur. My dream is to empower el-fallahin to become climate entrepreneurs. Meaning I want to give them the training and the capacity to become climate entrepreneur by capturing the carbon that is in the atmosphere and then sell it to as carbon credits to anyone who's interested. So this will create a new revenue stream. So the idea that a fallah can become a climate entrepreneur is something that is very important for me. As we were speaking about the Zabal with an eco-entrepreneurs by sorting and selling the garbage, as we were speaking about the fisherman that can collect the plastic bottles in order to sell it back. So all of these are very, let's say, important things. And you guys can all become climate entrepreneurs. You all have this capacity to find out some solutions, to create some new ideas, to make a campaign about climate change, to explain climate change to your community, to your family, because a lot of people do confuse the difference between climate change and environment, confuse the idea of garbage and CO2. So I think that you and your generation has the important job to do to become like ambassadors of the climate, and to really consider about working in this field, and to really consider that you can make a change. You know, like we are a country of more than 100 million inhabitants. The idea that if we all reduce, for example, just for 1 hour, if the 110 million inhabitants for 1 hour did not consume any CO2, it would have a huge impact already just on Egypt, right? So this idea that we can do something all together, this idea that you have the capacity to create and innovate is very, very important. Does anyone, Rado was thinking about education, how education is affecting climate change. Education is extremely important in climate change because you need to educate companies, people on the best practices that can be done in order to limit climate change. So you can be a climate change entrepreneur in the field of education. You can create some games around climate change. You can create some videos, some Netflix shows. You can create some books. You can create a lot of things around climate change. You can really have the capacity to in an unlimited way. Ali, you want to say something?
Yes, Doctor. Please, there are people who ask why you don't speak Arabic.
Yeah, but so speak in Arabic, please. Go ahead. If you'd rather speak Arabic, speak Arabic.
Yes, okay, please.
انت ممكن تتكلم عربي اذا انت عايز عادي.
Okay, Doctor.
Okay. Anyone wants to say something else?
No, Doctor, no.
I think yes. Yes, إذا بس أنا حجرب أتكلم عربي بس العربي بتاعي مكسر شوية فبكلم أحسن بالإنجليزي بس ممكن نتكلم شوية عربي وشوية إنجليزي ماشي؟
Okay, Doctor. Okay. Thank you very much.
لا ولا يهمك. مين اللي عايز يكون كلايمت انتربرنور؟ مين اللي عايز يعمل حاجة علشان ال climate change والحاجات كده؟ I have Minatula. Are you here? She just wrote. Ali, if you want to say something, please go ahead. But Minatula just wrote in the chat. I have an extension of families that are farmers, and I think for the regenerative agriculture, have a huge would have a huge effect. And thank you for that. Minatula, can you share a bit about your farmers family? Bravo Fatima, bravo Ahmad, bravo Mana, bravo Ali. كلكم كلنا عادل أنا أوكي مين اللي عايز يتكلم على ال climate change وإيه اللي عايز يعمل والحاجات زي كده روان you want to go you want to say something what's your thoughts
As I expressed later about that book campaign thing, like collecting the books, I believe a lot of us here in the meeting have different and more creative thoughts than the book one, or I don't know, but like different thoughts about, changing the environment and increasing people's or public information about climate changes and how they work. But at the same time, I can just go to a normal farmer or falah and I explain to him how methane gas work in the air. He wouldn't, it doesn't mean that he's dumb, but like he wouldn't be interested in this. You know what I mean? He wouldn't be interested in this specifically topic because he do this for life. He do this for money. So
but what if you can pay him to do that? What if he would not مش هيبيع الطماطم بتاعه بس ممكن يبيع الطماطم بتاعه وكمان ممكن يبيع مثلا الكربون اللي دخله في الارض كده هيعمل 2 انكمز هيعمل فلوس مرتين صح؟
My thought here is that they don't consider it this way. Like I'm gonna pay him £100 to like sell the tomato, but like it would cost him 50, so it's a profit of 50. But he doesn't want that. He won a profit of 70 or 80. So he would still do the same thing he always does because he wants more money. He doesn't care. And I don't specifically talk about like all people. It's not all the people in the world are evil, but like it's the most of them or most of people who work in this industry work in this way, that they want the highest kind of profit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can add something to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So a part of my family are farmers, and I think it's gonna be very hard to change their minds to do something new. But I guess if it's accompanied with a kind of flus or some kind of income by doing like new ways of agriculture and taking care of their cattle and buffaloes and cows, I think they can change their mind because like they are doing the same techniques that they have been doing for the last few years. They are putting all their cows in a very tight space. They're using the same agricultural method they have used for 10 years now. so they kind of getting used to this, but if they wrap their head around the idea that if they do it this new way, they'll have like an input, they are gonna change society, they are gonna change the world somehow, and there's an income accompanied with that. I think there's a really good chance that they are gonna change their mind. So I'd like to help with that. I'm very, very passionate about this idea, and I think it's very important to start with ourselves and everything we do. And part of my family being farmers, I think this idea is very, very close to me, and seeing it being applied.
I'd love to work on that with you, Mena. I would love to work with you on this. Mena, I will write my name. If you want to add me on Facebook, or anyone wants to add me on Facebook and then send me an inbox, I'd love to do so. Okay.
Thank you so much,
everyone. My name is Salem, Massalha. Here you go, and please add me on Facebook.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
I guess from my point of view, you will not convince all of the people in the same way. Like when I was thinking, when I want to recycle plastic, when I want to start it with my colleagues from the college, I wasn't going to convince them for the sake of the environment. No, because it's going to save money if you have a recyclable bottle instead of buying like on a daily basis a bottle of water. In the same way for the farmer and all of that, everyone you're gonna deal with, you're gonna like be like a marketing campaign. You gonna know your audience, know what will make them change. I'm gonna confess this for environmental sake, this for the money sake. You have to know as the farmer you're gonna deal with what is gonna trigger them to change.
Interesting. Marihan is saying that you have to know your audience. Go ahead, معلش. مين كان بيكلم؟ Go ahead. وممكن تكلموا بالعربي عادي كمان.
It was me. But I finished. So if anyone
I know, but they said somebody was right. So Marihan was saying that you have to know your audience. I completely agree with her. But once again, I think that knowing your audience is not enough, because you also need to have an economic incentive. No farmers will ever accept to reduce his financial profits just to store carbon. It will be unfair. Why would he do that? So what I want to do is to give him this financial incentive. I want him to make more money by selling his carbon and his tomatoes than he's doing right now. I want the farmers to be more rich and at the same time to work against climate change. Ahmed, go ahead.
I have something to say in different aspect in this issue. What about if we got the operation, the whole process more closer to the farmer? I mean, to show them exactly what happened to the climate, how do their action affect the climate, the environment around us. You know, when someone decided to promote to me a water filter device, he decided to show me with some analysis what does the water that we drink contain from very, very bad things. He showed me. I decided immediately to buy the filter device. From this idea, we can establish a very, very strong awareness around this issue.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. And I understand. I completely echo you actually. And when we went to see and speak with the fishermen about cleaning the Nile, they were very happy. But of course, we gave them the money to do that. But they were very happy because they were evolving in the Nile. So what Ahmed is telling about the water and so on is extremely important in general. I just want to, before I give the talk to Ahmed Kandil, before I give you the voice, I just want to answer Fatima. She said, why can't the government take all farmers' lands, giving them a fixed salary and control the whole process in a good way? I like to answer that this would be communism, socialism. You know, it would be like another political system. And I'm not sure that the socialism or the communism political system really worked. I think it's good that farmers are able to have their own land and that there is competition and so on. I think in this way, it makes things more efficient. Ahmed Kandil, you want to say something? I can see that your hand is raised. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Can I please talk in Arabic?
Yeah, اتفضل يا أحمد. اتفضل.
أنا عندي نقطة إن
ماشي.
مشكلة الكوكب الأولى والأخيرة هي البشر، لأن الطبيعة كلها دايرة، فلما الإنسان يتدخل في الدايرة دي يعني بيعمل فيها خلل. فتقليل النشاط الإنسان في البيئة هو أفضل حل إن التغير المناخي ومشاكل البيئة إنها تقل.
صح. Interesting. Who wants to comment on Ahmed point? مين اللي عايز يتكلم على أحمد قال؟
أحمد، هو إحنا أكيد مش هنقدر نقلل النشاط البشري أو إن إحنا نمتنع عن التدخل في كل الحاجات. الفكرة كلها إنك تقلل الإمباكت بتاعك كنشاط على البيئة. طيب، في نقطة كان في حد بيتكلم فيها، إن أعتقد كان اسمه أحمد برضو، إن هو كان بيقول إن إحنا نعمل السيستم أو نعمل الأنظمة كلها تبقى قريبة من المكان، وتبقى حاجة ستول بوينت تقريبا، وتبقى بتشمل كذا مزرعة أو كذا مزارع. يعني الفكرة كلها إن أنا زي ما بسال برودكت أو ببيع برودكت، أنا ببيع برضه فكرة. يعني أنا لو عايزة أقنعه إن هو يقلل الفوت برنت بتاعته، أو إن هو يقلل الإيميجن اللي بيطلع منه، فأنا ببيع له الفكرة دي. طيب هبيعها له إزاي من غير ما يبقى فيه فاليو في المقابل؟ الفكرة كلها إن أنا عشان أقنع حد بفكرتي لازم أبقى عارفة الفاليو اللي بتطلع من عنده. يعني هو أي ويست بتطلع من عنده، سواء الأورجانيك ويست أو الأجريكالتشر ويست، كل الحاجات دي ليها قيمة. فأنا لازم أبقى عارف القيمة دي كويس جدا عشان أقدر أقنعه إن هو يستفيد منها. يعني هو ممكن يعمل كومبوستنج للمخلفات اللي بتطلع من الزرع، المخلفات اللي بتطلع من الحيوانات. كل ده ممكن يعمل منه أعلاف، ويعمل منه سماد عضوي ببايو لاب صغير جدا يبقى عنده في المزرعة. هم عندهم طرق، يعني طرق قديمة بيشتغلوا بيها، والطرق دي أصلا لما الريسيرشز اتعملت عليها وبدأ يتعمل منها أجهزة إن هي تعمل أو تطلع تكنولوجي إن هم يعملوا منها أعلاف، يعملوا كومبوست، سماد عضوي يطلع فاكهة وخضار أورجانيك معلهوش أي أسمدة كيماوية. الفكرة كلها إن أنا بعرض عليه أو بخليه يعمل هو مشروع يجنريت sustainable profit جوه المزرعة بتاعته. دي حاجة ممكن إن هي تبقى الفاليو بروبوزيشن اللي إحنا بنتقدم بيه ليه. حاجة كمان برضو في association اسمها بلاستيك بانك، لو تعرفوها. دي برضو بتعمل بزنس موديل حلو قوي، إن هما بيدوا incentives للناس اللي بتجمع الأزايز البلاستيك. يعني لو مثلا واحد جمع طن بلاستيك، فهو الطن بلاستيك ده بياخد عليه incentive 1000 جنيه مثلا، بيتعمل له فودافون كاش أو أي حاجة زي كده، وبيتحول له عليها. ممكن إن يتحول له الفلوس دي في صورة حاجة تانية خدمية زي تأمين صحي، مدارس للأولاد وحاجة زي كده.
So Maha is speaking about plastic bank. It's very interesting.
Yes.
Plastic bank is what do? They buy some plastic to resell it on the international market. It's very, very interesting. But let's stay into climate. ماشي يا Maha. Thanks a lot for your intervention, and I love your energy.
I need
fantastic
what I
energy.
mean. أنا اللي أقصده من الفكرة إن الفكرة كلها I'm not talking about plastic bank نفسها. هي الفكرة نفسها كويسة، إن أنا لو عايزة أقلل الإيميجن أو أقلل الويست أو أقلل الأفكت بتاعي على البيئة، ممكن إن أنا أقنع الناس اللي هم ما عندهمش نفس تفكيري بصورة فاليو، أو بإن أنا أقدم فاليو ليهم زي ما كنت بتقول من شوية.
برافو عليك. It's very interesting. You're completely right. It's a very good comparison actually with plastic. You're right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think time is almost over now. Does anyone has a last intervention? Once again, I gave you my name. If somebody wants to add me on Facebook, you're more than welcome. Menatula, if you want to help me with the project, I'd be very honored and glad, really. My office is in Zamalek. We can meet at any time. Does anyone has anything else to say? Please go ahead. No? No one wants to say أي حد عايز يقول أي حاجة؟
عايزين نقول thank you أول حاجة الأول.
Thank you very much, Minatullah. Thank you. And please really do contact me. Are you based in Cairo?
أنا كليتي في أنا أصلا من البحيرة، بس أنا كليتي في القاهرة، فببقى قاعدة الأسبوع هناك، يعني هيبقى حلو نتقابل أو كده.
ماشي خلاص.
فأبعت لك على الفيسبوك يعني.
يلا please.
هو
Any other message? Any other no? حد عايز يقول حاجة؟
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marihan.
شكرا. رأي حضرتك يعني what's the best way to start my startup business في الفيلد ده؟ especially لو أنا مثلا عايزة أروح أخد فند من the bank لسه تحت السن.
That's a very good question, Marihan. Bravo عليكي. How to start first? How can I start it? I will answer you with one answer. Apply to competitions. There's lots of competition out there, and this one day maybe if Amidis invite me again, we can do a session about how to finance your idea. But there is a lot of competition. ناس زي إنجاز، نحلة المحوزة، Flat 6 Labs، من الجمعيات، من المسخ حتى they have competitions where they will give you some money in order to start up with your ideas. So what we call it at idea phase. وهيديلكم منح عشان تبداوا المشروع بتاعكم. فده حاجه مهمه قوي. الكومبيتيشنز هتلاقي على السوشيال ميديا، على الانترنت. اذا بتروحوا مؤتمرات ممكن تتكلم عليه. في كومبيتيشن في الجمعيات وهم بيديلكم منح، ممكن يكون 20,000 جنيه، 50,000 جنيه، 60,000 جنيه depends on the competition. وبعدين you can start. انا الشركه اللي بدات باسيتا، احنا we won, it was back then in 2013 and we won 25,000 جنيه from an NGO named نحلة المحوزة, and this is how we started everything.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks to you. Any other point? Any other question?
Yeah, it's me.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, you have NG phase. I'm at CA Biotechnology, Most University.
Wow, biotechnology. That's big.
Yes, yes. And I'm having some initiatives in the university for the back months about environmental activities. I just wanted the students to engage their work in the daily life about environmental activities. So I just know that you are one of the founders of Very Nile initiative.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just thinking how to cooperate with you for Very Nile to make students volunteer in your work in Very Nile. And I already have some work with Greenwich, but yeah, but we don't think about Very Nile very crucially to make our campaign successful. So if you are one of the founders, this would be more helpful than the students, because I'm working with the students only in Greenwich, not the founders of Greenwich.
Okay.
So yeah, I was searching for
I can give you the phone number contact me, and I stopped working with Very Nile. I co-founded it, but I stopped last summer. Because I'm working on other activities, but I will be very happy to connect you with somebody there.
Yeah, I hope it will be successful too with my students.
Right, I would love to connect you.
So how can I have your contact?
I wrote my contact on the I wrote my contact if in the chat box, Salem Massalha on Facebook. You can add me as a friend, inbox me, and then I will connect you there.
Yeah, I just added you on Facebook, so I will send you soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. From today until tomorrow, I will accept all the friends' requests, but tomorrow I will stop because I don't know if it comes from maybe this class or not.
Okay.
You all have until tomorrow to add me.
Thank you for your talk. It was so inspirational.
Thank you very much, and congratulations for being a TA in biotech. I think it's very
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any other? Bye bye, Razan. اي حد عايز يقول اي كلام اخر كلام؟ حد عايز يقول حاجه ولا خلاص ولا؟
Is your Facebook account is the one with the red photo? To be sure.
Yes, that's me. The red, absolutely. It's a French artist, street artist that did this painting, and it's a painting that I love very much. It shows somebody with a television. It's old paintings because he has a critic for people watching too much television.
Okay.
Anyone wants to say something else? If someone wants to say something else, you just go ahead and you speak. Huh?
شكرا يا مستر على وقتك جدا.
شكرا لك يا غادة. شكرا كثير. Yes, Radwa, with the bike quote. That's me. It's from a movie. Okay. So if no one has anything to say, I would like to thank you very, very much. I think you're all extremely smart, and I thank you for this conversation. And sorry if I spoke English rather than Arabic, بس زي ما قلت لكم أنا ولدت في باريس وبعدين رحت في الجامعة في كندا، فالعربي بتاعي مكسرة شوي، فI'm more better in English، وكمان أنا حتى أحسن بالفرنساوي كمان. فأنا متشكر جدا 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 ليكم، وإن شاء الله let's keep in touch يعني. If you have any question to ask me, I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Salem. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.